Well, neuroblastoma, it's a form of cancer that's most common in children under 5 years old. The closest treatment hospitals for it in Portland, Salt Lake City, or Seattle until now. KTVB's Dean Johnson joins us here in the studio to give us a look at a new procedure that's being done at St. Luke's that can help save lives. Dean, we should explain it's new for us here in Idaho.
Yes, it is. This is the first time that a procedure like this has been done, and it's being done by St. Luke's Mountain States Tumor Institute, also known as MISTY. Now, they've been able to do this type of procedure on adults, and it's blood and bone marrow transplants since 1933, but up until now has had no way of performing those types of procedures on children, meaning families were having to travel to surrounding states to get any of those medical procedures done. However, with the help of Dr. Nathan Meeker, those who now have to get bone marrow transplants done can do so right here in the Treasure Valley.
So how's he been?
When Tate Fontaine was just 3 months old, he and his mother went in for his monthly checkup.
Just going in for a routine visit, and yeah, that was kind of a smack in the face.
It was at that checkup their lives would change. Young Tate was diagnosed with neuroblastoma, a form of cancer most common in toddlers that forms in immature nerve cells.
Something that you never really imagine will happen to your own child.
One of the ways to treat this type of cancer is through a stem cell transplant. But unfortunately for the Fontaines, the closest places capable of doing that type of procedure at the time were Portland, Salt Lake City, or Seattle.
It was either the option of moving all of us for 3 to 6 months or just one of us going.
Thankfully, the Fontaines didn't have to make that decision because this past fall, Dr. Nathan Meeker and the St. Luke's Misty Hospital started offering autologous stem cell transplants for toddlers.
We know that if we were to give these powerful drugs, we would definitely treat the cancer, but we will also harm the patient's bone marrow. So this process allows us to use those very powerful drugs and not worry about the bone marrow anymore.
What the procedure allows is for doctors to take a toddler's bone marrow out of the body and freeze it so the child can undergo some pretty intense chemotherapy cycles.
Kill more effectively. So the more chemo we give, the more cancer we kill. Those stem cells will go home back to the bone marrow and regenerate all the cells of the bone marrow and all the cells of the blood.
Tate is the first toddler to undergo this type of procedure at St. Luke's, and his cancer is now in remission.
We knew we'd get through it. He's a fighter.
Now, Tate is still undergoing treatment. Right now, he's being given antibodies to attack any cancer that is left after chemotherapy. He'll have to undergo these types of treatments for just a couple more months. Dr. Meeker says after, they will have to continue to monitor Tate, probably for the rest of his childhood, to ensure his cancer remains in remission. Now, Dee and Mark, I do want to correct myself. In 1993, that's how long Misty has been offering this type of procedure for adults.
You know, it is so great to hear. I think we've probably all known families that have had to make that decision. It's so hard to be away. You need to be a family unit when you're going through something so difficult. So great news, Dean. Thank you for sharing.
And you think about